Capitalism, Socialism, and Communism. Look, I'm not here to tell you what economic system you think is best. The point of this video is to enlighten you so that you can get an understanding of what each economic system provides so you can choose based on the facts. So let's start with big bad capitalism. First, there are 5 main characteristics to capitalism: competition, private property rights, economic freedom, voluntary exchange, and profit motive. So what exactly is capitalism? Capitalism is where products are consumed or bought by businesses not under government control, with only a few being regulated. Business owners make decisions about their products and properties with no government interference, as the production of goods and services are privately owned and operated for a profit. It allows business owners and employees the freedom to manage their incomes. In addition, the only government involvement is taxation and standard regulatory laws, as the government has no stance on business operations, nor can the government tell a company and its employees how to spend their money, and nor should it. Understand that capitalism offers the most freedom for businesses over any other economic system, and capitalistic economies offer a variety of goods and services that allow the consumer to choose their needs and wants based on their personal choices. The beauty of capitalism is that it empowers people to work harder because they know that profits will be theirs. This mindset pushes people to innovate and create many great things, such as your iPhone. Although some see capitalism as an economic system that only works for the rich, this is far from true. As we all know, not everyone starts at the same place financially, but capitalism provides equal opportunity for everyone to create wealth. However, it doesn't guarantee it. A key attribute to capitalism that seems to be taken for granted is that it impacts individual freedom. Look, capitalism is not without its flaws, as it has imperfections, such as it can lead to massive greed, which can wreck innocent people's lives. Point in case, one has to look no further than the 2008 housing crisis, which greed and irresponsibility destroyed lots of wealth. However, its flaws do not outweigh its successes. Now, as for socialism, it is a system in which every person in the community has an equal share of the various elements of production, distribution, and exchange of resources. This is granted through a democratic system of governments. Now, there are various forms of socialism around the world, and they all differ when it comes to ideas on how best to incorporate capitalism into a socialistic structure. Here are some types: market socialism, democratic socialism, libertarian socialism, green socialism, and last but not least, revolutionary socialism. With that said, what are the advantages of socialism? First, there is an absence of exploitation, which ensures that no worker is exploited, since each of the workers in the community has a say on how the resources are managed, and each person receives and contributes based on an individual's potential. Look, according to socialism, each person is guaranteed access to basic goods, even those who are not able to contribute. As a result, it tries to minimize poverty. In addition, each person has the same right to access health care and other important social aspects such as education. And second, it disapproves of discrimination, as each person does what he is good at or what he enjoys best. If there are jobs that should be done and there's no one to perform them, then more money is paid to do those jobs. In addition, natural resources are protected for future generations. Now, as for the disadvantages of socialism, the first and maybe the biggest disadvantage is its reliance on cooperative pooling to get things done. The society expects cooperation and not competitiveness, so people who are competitive in the community are viewed negatively. This is because socialists believe competitive individuals strive for personal gain, which can cause social unrest. Second, socialism does not reward entrepreneurialism, does not like competitiveness clearly, and thus does not encourage innovation as much as capitalism. And lastly, since the government controls everything, it's possible for it to abuse its authority, as shocking as that may seem, because we know that would never happen. And lastly, we come to communism, which is often considered a form of socialism. This is a form of government that is supposed to provide a utopian society, but far from it, and is most frequently associated with the ideas of Karl Marx and his book, The Communist Manifesto. This economic system promotes a classless society in which everyone shares the benefits of labor, and the state government controls all property and all wealth, so everyone is equal. With that said, I don't think this type of economic system works very well, as there were only 5 so-called communist countries as of 2020: North Korea, Vietnam, China, Cuba, and Laos. And something tells me that most of all of us will not trade living and being a citizen of the United States for living and being a citizen of one of those countries. In addition, here are a couple links to 2 short videos about 5 minutes each that will shed more light on each of these economic systems. The first video compares capitalism to socialism and uses stats from 2017 to 2019. And the second video gives you a historical overview of the statistics about communism. With this information, I hope that you now understand the differences so you can make an educated decision about which economic system is best. And one last thing, ponder this. For those that think capitalism is evil, why is it that the United States is the most desired country in the world for people living in poverty to immigrate to and illegally cross the border?